Hello, welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy, and today I am working with the Vintage Botanical Architecture that is from Tania at Tatty Treasure and Nanine at Collage Type, and I will have all of their info linked below along with the info for the other YouTubers who are participating in this collaboration for July. I want to try to make we'll go with trifold TN, and a typical traveler's notebook, from what I have read, measures 8.5 inches tall and 4.5, 4.25, somewhere in there, inches wide. I have taken a file folder, you can tell this is a hanging file folder, and I have cut it down to 8.5 by 8.5 because I want to make a triple TN, yes. And so I am going to need just a little bit more room in it to make my folds. So I am going to go in and measure, and I think, if I remember right, if I measured right, however you want to put that, I think that right there gives me a 4.5 inch fold. Yes, so when you have a file folder, you have these little, I don't know if you can see them, but they're like score marks, they're fold marks. And normally that is so that when you fold the file folder, if you've got things that are thick, you can fold on that score mark and it becomes a more useful file folder because the bottom is flatter. I'm instead going to use it as a marking place to show where I want to fold my sides into. And I'm going to crease that with my bone folder, and then I'm going to repeat this on the other side. I'm just going to this first score mark here, not the original fold, the first score mark, which is about 1/4 inch in. So if you don't have the score mark, if you are making this, say, from cardstock on your own, or poster board or something like that instead of a file folder, then just know that when you fold it in half, you want it to measure 8.5 by 8.5, and then you will want to fold this into 1/4 inch away from that center fold. And what that's going to do for us is make a folder that opens up and opens up. And then we're going to have 3 traveler's notebook inserts, or you can actually sew them in. And I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and put mine in with a pamphlet stitch. And I want to decorate the cover. And I think I want to decorate the inside of the cover and the outside of the cover before I sew those in, because I just want to make sure that they are showcasing these gorgeous, gorgeous images. And I almost forgot my labels and the small images and the washi tape that I am using so far. And I have my book page right over here where I can reach it easily, along with some music page. So this is going to be the ultimate outside of the book. And I don't know if any of these are quite 8.5 inches tall. So I will have to put some backing behind them. I mean, they're close. That is really close. I think that actually would fit better on the inside. I think I like that better on the inside. And that is why they don't quite reach, because I went through and I cut that off instead of realizing that I could just cover it up. But that's okay. I can take care of that pretty easily. It's hard to choose because they are just all so beautiful. Every piece of this kit is just beautiful. If I do that, I could actually wrap that around. And then just layer that. That's perfect. I like that. I didn't fold it very well. Oh goodness. Okay, let's see. Am I on screen? I am kind of on screen. Let me get all the way on screen. Okay, I like that. That's going to actually cover up the entire front cover. And so I am just going to go ahead and glue that. Get it on there so I can get started. Sometimes making that first decision as to what you're going to do with your cover or other things, what you're going to do with your signatures, what you're going to do with your journaling cards, what you're going to do with your theme. Sometimes just getting your foot in the water is difficult. But if you can get it done, then everything else makes a little bit more sense, makes it a little bit easier to figure out from there. All right, so I'm going to fold that part back because I need to figure out what I'm going to layer that over. If I'm going to put book page down and then kind of collage some other things over it. If I want to add another image, do I want to add another image? I don't want to cover up too much. That could be pretty if I went ahead and cut around that part a little bit more and put book page in behind it. I think that could be lovely. Let's see. And I'm just not going to do I'm not even going to do a kiss cut. I am going to do, I guess, a halo cut or an aura cut. I don't know what you want to call it. Just a little cut around there. I'm going to cut off that sharp corner and round it, leaving the straight edge on the bottom so I can align it on the paper when I put it back down. I am going to come in just a little bit more around the leaf and come back out to that root. Who was it I was watching the other day? Somebody didn't like the roots, couldn't handle looking at the roots because they looked like spiders. It wasn't on this kit. They were talking about something else and I don't remember what it was, but you know, I can understand the not wanting to deal with spiders. I don't want to deal with spiders either. All right, I like that. So I am going to get some book page. And I know that this book page is not tall enough for covering the whole page. Let's see, which side of the page do I want to use? Let's do this. I'm just going to cut off or tear off that inside part there. Do that, and then I have some music that I could actually put on down at the bottom. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue on this whole piece here, because I know that's not going to cover all of it, but I'm also pulling in some music page to cover the rest of it. So sometimes seeing how somebody else's brown. See, my brown isn't working because I was meaning to say brain. Seeing how someone else's brain works and their thought process can sometimes be very helpful, even when you're used to doing it. I did not need to put glue all the way down to the bottom because I'm not gluing it all the way at the bottom. Well, I am gluing it pretty close to the bottom, I guess. All right, and now I am going to glue this part here. Press that down. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that edge off of the music sheet and cut the edge of the book page on, and then not on. I'm not very good at cutting this off on camera, and because I can't seem to get the angle to where my eyes can see it. So if you see me take it off camera and cut it, just know that it's because I'm trying not to mess it up too badly. I'm going to put this here. Yep. I should have inked that edge. I can do that real quick. I don't think it's too late. Apparently I need to put a little more glue right up there too. Now, I want to wrap this corner with some of that washi tape, which means that I want it to be under this. So I'm going to set that up here until I get decided what I'm going to do with the inside here. So that means I need to go ahead and decorate the back cover so that I can get onto the inside of it. So let's find another large piece like that if we can. And once again, it does not have to cover the whole thing. That one just happened to cover the whole thing, which I liked, but we can piece things together. Okay, I've got pinks and yellows and silvers. I think I'd like to pull a little blue in. Oh, well, I've got blue there. I guess I'm not missing out on the blue, but I think I like that blue a little bit more. I think that I'm going to go with that, and I think that I'm just going to go ahead and cover up. Yep, that'll work right there, just like that. And I will put some, let's see, I'm going to round off some of these corners. I'll put some book page and music sheet, most likely, down. All right, so this one's going to be the very, very bottom layer. So I'm going to glue it on first, and I'm actually going to glue the whole thing on except for about this much of the bottom is going to hang off the bottom of the page, the bottom of the file folder cover. I scooted it down because I really didn't need any of it at the top, and I scooted it over because I really didn't need it to cover very much of this at all, but I need it to cover up a lot of that side. So I'm just going to put enough of it on this side of the file folder to cover what little bit needs to be covered, and then the rest of it is just going to fall over to the other side. Go ahead and get these two pieces down, and then I'll work on that back, and we'll be done with the outer cover. Where'd my piece go? Here it is. Not that piece. Where's the other piece? Did it? Okay. Carried it over. And that goes there, and so this needs to go Yep, I forgot that it lined up on the fold right there. Alrighty, now this is going to go ahead and come over to this corner. So I need something here and up here. I could even scoot it. No, I don't think I'll scoot it. I think I'll leave it right there, and I will figure out what is going to go up there. I think that I'm going to use music again. And I like that word sonatine. of it on. And again, kind of the same thing's going to happen here. I'm going to be putting the washi tape down along the side, and so I don't want to put this down until after I've got that washi tape on. I just need to make sure that I've got this part taken care of. So I'm going to find something else to put down on that section of the paper. Move that up there with the other one, just so I don't forget and do something silly like glue it down. And there are some long sculptural pieces in these cutouts. I think they're called friezes, F-R-I-E-Z-E. I think one of them just might be perfect for that spot. We'll check it out and see. There's one, but that's pretty big. I think there's some narrower ones, I think. That would work. I just need to cut it out a little bit better. I think that this will work just fine right there. All right, I'm going to trim off the overhang on these. All right, so there is the outside thus far. I will have to do more to that. Obviously, I want to cover that up, and I will be doing something on this main fold right here. But I can go ahead and get the inside done now. And the inside, I'm going to cover with almost all book page and music sheet. And then I will just add things to the top. That was not what I intended to do. It may just work anyway. Oh my goodness. I forgot that it had glue on it, and that's why it was folded. I put the glue on the wrong side of that paper. It is not what I intended to have up, but it will be just fine. Okay, that's most of that covered up. I think that works. And since that one's going to go there, I do believe that the washi tape will not come over that far. So I can go ahead and put the washi tape on over here. And then I can go ahead and put this one on as I intended. Yep, that worked out very well. Very well. I'm just going to use this to make sure that the washi tape is adhered for two reasons. One, when your washi tape has a white background, it will come a little bit closer to looking like it almost melts into the paper behind it. Plus, this just helps it to hold on, because washi tape is notorious for not being sticky enough. Although I have found several of my washi tapes that are just plain too sticky and stick to everything or rip it up when I try to pull it off. All that good stuff. I will go ahead and ink this and get it put on. Just a little last minute addition to this front part of the journal. All right, I like that. Let's go ahead and get this side something done with it so that I can go ahead and put this one on as well. Okay, now yes, I did cover up that whole piece. Didn't intend to, but I did. But you can still see it through the washi, so I think it is still going to look very nice. Because I can see the texture behind it. I think it looks good. All right. Now I am going to go ahead and get this glued on here, and then that part will be done, and then I can finish the inside. So I went through and inked everything, and I'm going to glue the pieces I have chosen to the paper real quick. I am probably going to come back and put labels on. I know that I have one label I'm going to put on right now because I still have a bare spot right there. So I'm going to go ahead and get these glued down, and then the cover will be ready for adding the signatures. Took a piece of the book with that one. All right, and then I have this one label picked out thus far that's going to cover that last little green spot. I am going to add more labels and possibly some smaller flowers, but I think that I will wait until after I get the signature sewn in, just to see how it looks before I go covering things up that don't necessarily need to be covered. Whoops, and I just pulled that right off, so I'll glue it down real quick. I've had people comment on how much glue I use, but I have found that when I don't use as much glue as I use, when I try not to be so gluey, that happens a lot more frequently. All right, and I do know I have old music paper here and old book paper here on these edges. So what I just glued down may pop up again anyway. So I'm probably going to take a different washi tape that's a little bit thinner, not thinner, but yeah, narrower is probably the right word. Narrower than this one to cover those edges, and I will use it to accent other places. I do still need to cover that up, but I may come up with a label or something that I want to put there. Not a label, a phrase, a word phrase. I may cover it up with another flower. I may put music on it or some book page. I don't know. That is the only one that is totally one piece. And I know I'm going to cover that up. But until then, I think that this is ready for putting in the signatures. And that will happen. I put this over just a little too far. It's in that crease. Until that gets sewn down, it's probably going to keep popping up. I started to say it, but until then, I think that this is done. And our next step will be to put the signatures in, and that will be the next video. So thank you for joining me today. I hope that you find it interesting enough to try to make one yourself. I've had it in my head for a while now, and I'm glad I decided to go ahead and do it with this kit because I like the way that that looks so far. So, thank you for joining me today, and as always, be kind. Bye.